Good morning. So the last couple of days yesterday I didn't upload anything and I have a few videos ready to go up, but I haven't recorded a lot lately because I've kind of gone into myself lately. I don't know, it just feels like I don't have a lot to say. This morning I woke up, or what I do say or what I do have to say, I can't, like, it doesn't come together. But this morning I woke up, I did my meditation, and right after my meditation, an advertisement came on, which is like a really long advertisement. It's like a half an hour if you don't pass it, about the Silva technique. And I don't know the name of the guy that is passing. He's selling a course of the Silva technique. And he's explaining a little bit about what the Silva technique is, which is actually accessing your subconscious. And I realized, and he's talking about similar things that I talk about a lot, and also which is also connected to this course or workshop that I'm putting together. The workshop that Roy asked me if I could put together some kind of system for the mind, for self healing. And my thought was, the first thing I said was, of course, because I've done it with myself and I know that I have these different systems. And when I was listening to this advertisement about the Silva technique, first of all, it seems like something that is really cool, something that I might even like to do. But they talk about tapping into the subconscious, which is basically just tapping into yourself, tapping into the universe through yourself. And there's a lot of different ways to get to the same outcome. So that's really what it is all about. But he's talking about these different methods of getting into your own subconscious, which is, basically what what we do. When we come into being whole, is learning the language of the world, which is love. But you find that going in through yourself. So it's connecting back to books that I'm writing and different systems and this workshop that I'm working on. And I was thinking I actually drove down here to Nakhlamud and it's raining, and I really feel it like being outside in nature. And so I'm waiting for it to quit raining, even though it looks like the skies are just pure gray. So we'll see what happens with that. I do feel like getting out and hiking a little bit. I just want to wait for like a minute when the rain kind of stops. And so I'm thinking about this workshop that I want to do. And I understand that in order for, my next step in my spiritual awakening and my spiritual path is I can't go any further without taking people with me. I understand that. And I think that's also part of the reason why these videos have come to be. Because on my own personal spiritual path, I've realized that there is nowhere more for me to expand to without bringing more people along with me. And I'm crying because whenever I say something really real that touches me, it's not sad, it's just emotion. And I realized that that is part of the next step on my own personal spiritual journey, is bringing other people along. And maybe that's why I've been at this step and trying to, go up. And in that, many different things in my own world will also, be solved in my personal life experience, and bringing others to the light. So I started thinking about it, and I realized uh, that really what I want to do is sit down and I will write down all the different a system workshop that you can actually go through that has steps and that you achieve like a jump on your spiritual journey. It's never done. It's not like you get to the end of the workshop and you're done, but you do get to your next level of understanding, and you get to a place where if you do the work, you can change your own life to be a life that you want. um, you know Learn how to shed things that you don't want and how to work through things in order to create the life that you do want. Now it's a process, right? So you come and you get like a whack, like a thrown into the sea, and also using different techniques like using your senses to bring you into this place. So for instance, if you're learning something and you're smelling a certain fragrance, then you can always tap back into what you learned through the fragrance or through a sound or through music, or learning different techniques like that of programming, reprogramming your mind. Actually, maybe the workshop is going to be called Reprogram Your Mind for the Life That You Want. And you come and you learn these techniques. First of all, you learn that your mind is programmed and how it's been programmed and how you can program it and take over your personal power, and where your power is leaking. Where you don't stand up into your power is actually leaking. It's places where if you don't stand up and hold on to these energies that are coming through you and use them, then you're running away from them. And that's where you have the genies and the demons that are coming in. It's places where you leave the back door open and all of your power is dripping out your back. And you can see this also in your health, because you're creating a life that you don't really want through weakness, through weaknesses. And also when you tap into these places and you stand up and you hold on to your power, you learn how you are actually channeling through you the powers of the universe, because the powers that you have are coming from the universe. These are, you're not separate from this universe. So you're actually using and harnessing powers that are available to the universe, that flow through you. So you're coming into your natural state of being, which also makes you the happiest that you can be. And you're also channeling these powers and using them for, you could say for your benefit, but it's also for the benefit of the universe, because you are bringing these channels, you're bringing these powers into being through you. So you are doing the work of God, the work of nature, the work of the Bria, which is of existence. You are bringing into existence I used the born and unborn before. So you're bringing the unborn into being born. So you're bringing something that you're creating. You're creating using your own talents, which are the universal powers that are going through you. And when we don't stand up into these powers and hold them, which we're taught out of using our powers when we go to school, we're actually taught to not be special. Don't use your powers. Do what we are told to do. You're not taught. You're taught to bring all of your personal powers down and not be any different. And we were actually go to school and smacked down in school. Be like the herd. Be good employees, be good workers, be good soldiers, be good ants. And we're actually taught out of using our powers, and we're actually taught in a way that the spiritual world is for crazy people, but that is who we are. We are spiritual creatures created of this universe, from this universe. Everything that we have is all of the emotions that we're taught out of using our emotions. If you're emotional, then you're, so we just close off our emotions and become hard and miserable, because when our emotions and our talents are closed off and we are letting all of our power seep out, then we don't feel powerful. We feel weak. We feel inadequate. We have this yearning to stand up into our power, and we don't allow ourselves to do it. And then we're not using the power of nature as we are meant to use it, even though we do use it intuitively uh, every day for everything. Manipulation is the power of creation. We manipulate things all the time. We manipulate our food. We cut it and we put it together and we splice it. We put uh, making bread out of wheat is manipulation. And we have this emotion attached to manipulation like it's a bad thing, but it's not. It depends on how you use manipulation. The reason we think that it's a bad thing is because we can manipulate others into doing things that we want them to do. So we have power over another. And so people are afraid of manipulation. Oh, they're manipulating me. But if you're standing in your own free choice and you are pure to yourself and to your own consciousness and you are aware, then you can't be manipulated where you don't want to be manipulated, right? Because you can hold on to your own power. You can't be manipulated. So manipulation is not a bad thing. Misuse of a manipulation, which also means blind use of manipulation, because nowadays I think that we use our magic. Many of us, it stopped raining a little bit. Many of us use our magic, our God-given born magic, without even knowing that we're using it. So we're like careless with it. We cast spells on people and manipulate people without even knowing that we're doing it, and without even knowing why we're doing it. We have these wants that we want, and many times they're not really what we would want. When you really break it down, you don't want to control somebody else. You don't want the responsibility of that. And also, what's the joy in controlling somebody else? And that's just one sample of manipulations. We do manipulations all the time for things that we don't want, for, when we're sitting in a life that we don't, especially, wasn't the life that we would have created out of scratch if we wanted. For me, there are still many places that I'm not standing up and haven't manipulated or created the life that I 100% want. I would love to have a little house out in nature where I grow my own food and have lovely relationships and, a man that I love by my side. And I'm a work in progress, and I'm talking this out as I work it out. And I think that doing a workshop along these lines of real magic, real magic, when we tap into ourselves because we are of the universe and our patterns. Look at that bird is just sitting. It was sitting right here, just sitting like right up above me. The signs. We're connected to this universe and to all this nature around us. We're connected to it in the 3D. We have to eat food from nature. We live from nature. We're part of this nature, but also our spiritual being, which is who we are. This is just our body. It's like a shell that we were given, a magnificent shell that we were given to take care of and to take us through this plane of this existence. It's our manifested self in this 3D world. But what we are is so much more. And when we are able to tap into into our primal self, we are intuitive creatures, and we are connected to this universe. And the universe is always giving us signs. The universe, the all, God, nature, creation, source. I like that one. Source energy, source. We are connected to source energy. And this whole universe works in patterns. It's not random. everything. When you start seeing patterns, you start seeing them everywhere. When you find a pattern of nature, you see it everywhere. And when you are able to intimately understand these patterns, then you can easily manipulate nature and also spirit. It's like I was saying, program your mind through noises. Let's say if you say, I love myself, I love myself, I love myself, you're programming your mind. And then if you do it enough times, it's enough that you hear this sound to know that you love yourself. So we can program our minds in many, many different ways. We can do it through all of our senses. We can do it through smell. We can do it through sight. We can do it through sound. We can do it through taste. We can do it through feeling. There's so many ways that we can program our mind by ourselves, teach ourselves to believe the things that we want ourselves to believe. But it requires doing the work. It requires that we sit down and we actually do the work, that we actually take the time, first of all, to even understand the concept, because we are trained out of our intuitions. We are trained not to use our powers because we are powerful beings, and that wouldn't be good for the people that are sitting on top of all of these that are sitting on top of the pyramid now and controlling us. It wouldn't be good for them if we knew our power and took our power back. So I'm going to stop this here, and I'm going to go hike because it quit raining now. So thank you for watching. I'm going to use this as a base for my workshop, and I'm going to sit down today and I'm going to work on that workshop because I feel like I have a real sense of where I'm taking this now, and a place where I can do good in the world, and it feels right to me. So thank you for watching, and thanks for being a part of this. This is like incredible.